Isn't it time you stepped up and took control of your health? This is Dr. Tom Roselle. Join me on September 17th at the Fairview Park Marriott Hotel in Falls Church, Virginia, for a day that will change your health forever. Special guest Ann Abernathy, known as Grandma Luge, a 6-time Olympic athlete and oldest ever to compete, will be there to motivate you and show you how to take control of your life and put your health in your hands. Don't wait. Register today at rosellecare.com or call 703-698-7117.
Dr. Tom Roselle live right now, 630 WMAL.
Welcome to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. I'm live in studio on this beautiful Sunday anniversary of 9/11. Call me, 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-WMAL. Love to talk to you on any subject you have in mind. Perhaps you've had a problem and you've tried, you've applied. Well, guess what? Let's see if we can fix it for you. See if we can do it without drugs, without surgery, and put a little hope back in your life so you can live life as it was meant to be, fully, with total health, but more importantly, wellness, and sometimes far beyond what your imagination is right now, because you have that capacity, you have the ability. It's sometimes we just don't know which way to turn and how to get there. 888-630-9625. Wonderful day today, and a day of celebration, a day of sadness, a day of remembrance. Many of you have gone through the emotional juggernaut, if you will, and watching television and listening to the programming, and have thought about what had happened, our risk levels here in this country, the emotional toll that it's taken on all of us, in many ways has made us better, has made us stronger, but also the trepidation and that emotional piece that is always with us. And when I reflect back 10 years ago, I was on the way to the office and getting ready to treat patients, and my daughter called me, and she was living down in North Carolina, and she said, "Dad, do you know what happened?" And I had no idea, and she explained to me, and while we were talking, and she told me that a plane had hit the trade towers, she screamed, and I thought somebody had hurt her, and that's when the second plane had hit the towers. So all of us have a moment of reflection today that we wonder what had happened, why it had happened, and where we were, and what our thought processes were, and how we've grown as a society, how we've grown as individuals, how we have allowed our emotional strength to become better than what it was at that point in time. And we need it, and we need it on a whole lot of levels. 888-630-WMAL. Let's talk about what we can do to make your life better, and on a greater level, and enjoy the wellness and make sure that you can sustain anything no matter what. Next Saturday, September the 17th, we are be going to the Fairview Park Marriott Hotel. What we're going to be doing there is called Ageless Health. Ageless Health is a program that the Roselle Center for Healing has produced for the last 12 years. And we do it to offer you an opportunity to reclaim your birthright, wellness. We want you to not grow old gracefully, but we want you to get older with power. We want you to get older with the capacity that you had even when you were in your 20s. And the bottom line is, it's possible, it's doable, it's something that is affordable to all of us. That's what this day is all about. It's a full day. It's a tremendous day of opportunity for you to get your life back to where it should be. If you haven't registered, if you've been putting it off, we still have some seats available. Call the office at 703-698-7117. That's 703-698-7117. Tell my staff that you want to be there with us, that you want to attend one of the most powerful days that you could possibly begin to imagine. Think about what it would mean to you. What would you create? What would you attempt in your life if you had the absolute capacity physically, mentally, and emotionally to do whatever you want to do? We all want to be stronger. We all want to have greater physical capacity. And we want to live our lives fully without impairment. My father died at a relatively young age simply because he had a myocardial infarction. Nobody knew how old this man was, but his internal system was not as good as his external system. His heart did not function at the level that it should have functioned at, and so he dropped dead. So what you see on the outside is not necessarily what's going on the inside, but there's ways to measure that. There's ways to develop a greater potential for yourself. Ageless Health is that opportunity. It's the most effective way of learning how to create wellness and create a plan that can change your life and that of your families forever. You need to register today. Go online at rosellecare.com. This is the last time you're going to hear me talk about it. Next week, we're going to say, Ageless Health is in the bag. It's over with until next year. Don't miss this opportunity. I promise you that if you go to the seminar and you apply the things that we're going to give you, and you will have every piece of information that's going to be presented, and it's extremely powerful, and you put it into place, one piece at a time, and we're going to help you do that. We're going to put it together for you, that your life will change. Your life will change dramatically. It will change for the better, and it will change permanently. It's not something that just happens for the moment. Ageless Health. Go to our website, rosellecare.com. And don't forget, time's running out. You only have the next few days to register. And our guest, Ann Abernathy, Grandma Luge, 6-time Olympian, she's going to be there to help motivate you, to talk to you, to help put things together. In 2006, Ann was 53 years old when she competed in her last Olympiad. 53 years old. Going down a slope at 90-some miles an hour, 93, 94 miles an hour. It's incredible. How many of you would do it if you were in the best of shape and maybe 20 years old, let alone 53 years old? This woman is going to share her story with you. She's going to motivate you. She's going to help you. We have on stage during registration, core training exercise demonstration. My daughter, Erin Roselle, who is a great personal trainer, is going to be there to show you how you can exercise no matter what your status is, and you get to take that home with you. At noontime, there's going to be a demonstration from the Chinese Martial Arts Institute in Merrifield, Virginia, and they're going to show you what Tai Chi or Tai Chi Guan, which is a Kung Fu-based Tai Chi process. They're going to show you how simple and how easy it is and how much it can assist your attainment of that nebulous, that ageless health, that wellness index that you want to get. And then the rest of the presentations all day long, each piece, Sue's going to be talking about nutrition and how nutrition affects your genetic code. And Dr. Brown is going to talk about neurological pathway problems with the brain and how you can stop cognitive dysfunction. And I'm going to be talking about your fountain of youth and what you can do specifically, the nutrients that you need to be taking, how you can integrate the entire process, what it really means to be well, and to be able to do a checkup of your entire body and to be able to be your own doctor and putting it together. It's an amazing program. We love doing it for you. We're there for you. My entire staff will be present. Not only will we have a Q&A at the end, but you'll be able to sit there and ask questions when we do breaks, because they're going to be wandering around and say, hey, how do I apply this to me? Ageless Health, the most incredibly effective way of learning how to take charge of your life. Don't miss it. RoselleCare.com. That's RoselleCare.com. Or call us at 703-698-7117. So let's talk about things that are in the news and things that can help you. In the meantime, give me a call if I can help you. Did you ever think about what happens when we talk about aging? Think about what happens when you steal sleep, when you don't get as much as what you need to do. Well, so studies are out there that says that your cognitive aging pattern accelerates by about 7 years when you don't get the sleep that you need. A lot of studies on sleep disturbance and sleep disorders differ on the patterns, but they look from a 5-year period in their studies, and basically what they're saying is that over a period of time, people who get between 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night respond normally in their day-to-day settings, and they're able to respond normally. Their thought processes are intact. But people who get less than that, less than 6 hours on a regular basis or on an average basis, their cognitive decline is equivalent to 4 to 7 years, as the studies, we average them all together, of aging. I don't think that wants to be my result. The main result to come out of this, of many of these studies, was that when you don't get enough sleep, there's a definite association with poor cognitive function, and we start seeing it in middle age. And you don't have to wait till you're old. You get to see it very, very early on. What this really means is this. Many of you say, listen, I have to do whatever, and you put all the reasons out on the plate. I have so much on my plate, I've got to work, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And when you don't get the sleep that you need, your efficiency, your capacity to do all these things becomes a fraction of what it could be or should be. So health, mental health, cognitive health is associated with physical health and your body's ability to heal. And if you're not sleeping, you're not healing. So you have to make a decision here. And what sleep really means is this. You need to be in a cave. A cave means your bedroom with no lights, no digital printouts, no night lights, black, dark, no ambient lights. And you have to be able to rest peacefully, you have to be able to sleep normally, and not go into blood sugar crashes. One of the reasons that many of you wake up in the middle of the night is because you eat so early and go to bed and don't eat again until 12, 13, 14, 15 hours later. You wake up in the middle of the night. You have to have protein sustenance to be able to maintain blood sugar regulation. If not, your cortisol level never comes back up to where it needs to be during the night, which is the healing process. The brain is not allowed to relax and heal. And you have this whole matrix that begins to take place. Now, that's just one of many things. If the liver is toxic, liver energy in the acupuncture system is the highest at nighttime. If the liver is toxic, your body is not going to be able to sleep because liver energy is between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning. So you go to bed 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then you either can't get to sleep or you wake up about 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and you can't get back to sleep. That's liver function. The energetics are there. When a patient comes in and tells me that's what's happening, I say, listen, we've got to get your liver detoxified. We've got to clear that system out. Until we do that, it doesn't make any difference what you take or what you do. You're not going to be able to go into a restful state. And the same is true for any of the other organ systems that are associated throughout the night, from the gallbladder to the lung, and then later on going into large intestine. And there is that relationship. Energetically, we have a direct correlation from one system to the other based on the time of the day. And a doctor who's aware of that is going to make those correlations, those connections, to be able to get you a better restful night's sleep. But we start with making sure the environment is good. Don't get the heat up too high. Turn the temperature down. Open up the windows when you can and get fresh air coming into the system. Make sure that you have the ability to be comfortable in your bed, in your mattresses and so forth. Best that you sleep on the floor, let alone on something that's lumpy and bumpy. But you have to make those judgment calls on your own. Sleep is one of the most important things that you're ever going to be able to get a hold of, correct yourself. Sometimes we have to do quick adjustments. Somebody who is traveling all the time, they may need some melatonin to regulate their biological clock. Problem with melatonin is that it can be addictive. You start taking more than 1 or 2 or 3 milligrams of melatonin per night, and it can upset the whole hormonal regulatory pathway. And when it does that, you have a hard time getting that out of your system. You become dependent. Your body needs that, but you're creating deficiencies and inefficiencies, if you will, further downstream. People come and say, well, I'll just take melatonin and I feel better. Well, it will make you feel better, but the more melatonin you take, the more your body wants, the more that you need to have, and then all of a sudden I have people coming in that are taking 10, 15 milligrams of melatonin, and they can't understand why they can't get off of it, and if they are off of it at all, nothing's working in their body.
Dr. Tom Roselle Live continues now on 630 WMAL.
Welcome back. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. You're listening to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. I am in studio. Give me a call, 888-630-9625. 888-630-WMAL. Love to talk to you on any subject that you've in mind. I told you not to go away because, guess what? There's a very simple oil that I use all the time, and if you use it, it can decrease your risk of a stroke 41%. Wouldn't you like to have that done? What is it? Well, it was a study that was published in the Journal of Neurology, and the study reveals an association between olive oil and the risk of stroke. Guess what? I'm very Mediterranean. I'm very Sicilian, as many of you know. And subsequently, I'm excited about this because the study was done, not a small sampling. There's actually about 7,625 people that got involved in this. And what they showed was that olive oil consumption and its frequency of use was directly related and documented over a short period of time, a couple years, the risk of stroke. So what does that mean to you? That means that there was a whole follow-up period of about 5.5 years, and during that 5.5 years of these 7,625 people, 148 of them had strokes, and it correlated out to a 41% lower risk of stroke among intense olive oil users compared to those people who didn't use olive oil or used it very, very rarely. The protective association was significant for ischemia, but not hemorrhagic stroke. Now, what does that mean? Hemorrhage stroke means the blood vessel breaks. Ischemia means that there's a loss of oxygenation to the area of the brain. So olive oil with its omega-9 fatty acids are the things that seem to help with ischemic problems in stroke and so forth. So guess what? I use olive oil every day, and the best olive oil is unfiltered and organic, and you can find it and use it, and it's a great thing. There was a second study. Subjects with the highest level of plasma oleic acid had a 73% reduction in stroke compared with those who had the lowest levels. So get out and use it, my friends. There's a whole lot of things that you need to be putting into your body. And when you come to Ageless Health, we're going to give you so much more of that. We're going to give you ways that you can put it together, step by step, how to decrease strokes, how to live longer, how to live well, how to increase your strength and your energy and so forth. Like I said, this is an event you don't want to miss. Go to our website, rosellecare.com. But before we do that, let's go to the phones. Kathy, how can I help you? And thank you for listening.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I am well.
Good. I just had actually two questions. I thought of another quick one after I got off the phone from the call screener.
Okay.
It seems that I remember in a previous show that you mentioned when the thyroid is not functioning properly that people's eyebrows tend to lose hair or their eyebrows don't appear as healthy as they once did.
Now, providing that you're not plucking your eyebrows.
Oh, no.
It's the outer one-third. The outer one-third of the eyebrow that begins to lose hair formation. And you can see a very healthy eyebrow, except for right there, and all of a sudden it disappears. And it can be one side of the body or the other or both. But it's one of the things that suggests that there may be a thyroid problem, and it correlates pretty closely.
Okay, and if one were to make an appointment at your facility, you would be able to suggest a test?
Oh, yeah, the test is actually, there's a lot of tests that you would use for thyroid function. Laboratory testing is pretty straight up. Unfortunately, most physicians don't run the right tests. They usually run T4 and thyroid-stimulating hormone, TSH only, if you're lucky. But there's a whole bunch of other things that you have to find out because they can be relatively within normal ranges, but you have to read inside the box. And so what I mean by that is if the normals are high normal or they're low normal outside of what we consider textbook normal, then you begin to suggest maybe we have a problem there. Then there's other things that you would run and some home testing that you can do that would make a difference as well.
Okay, because I know that I was reading something about thyroid, and it said with these tests that generally the physicians order, they don't necessarily get them at the right receptor site.
Correct. Well, see, what guys don't understand, they give Synthroid when they see that there's a T4 level that's low. And Synthroid is an artificial T4, but the active hormone is T3. So T4, 80% of T4 has to be converted in the liver to T3. If the liver can't handle the conversion, or if there's something called reverse T3 shutting down the conversion process, then it doesn't make any difference how much T4, how much artificial Synthroid you're getting in. It's still not going to be, adequate, and you're still going to have thyroid symptoms. But there's many other pieces of the puzzle that you have to think about.
Okay.
Kathy, I'm sorry, I'm coming up against the news. Thank you for your call. Please give us a call. I'd love to help you in any way that I possibly can. And attend Ageless Health. We'll give you some more information actually on that subject.
Dr. Tom Roselle Live continues now on 630 WMAL.
Welcome back. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. You're listening to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. I am in studio. 888-630-9625. 888-630-WMAL. Love to talk to you on any subject that you have in mind. Perhaps you have something that, you just haven't been able to fix. Well, let's fix it. Let's see what we can do to make a difference. See if I can point you in a direction that you haven't even thought about. Well, I have several things that we're thinking about, and one of them is Ageless Health, coming up next Saturday the 17th. Last week to register, so I wouldn't hesitate any longer. If you've been putting it off, can't put it off anymore. This is a day that you will be glad that you decided to attend. It is an amazing conglomeration and put together for you that will change your life, will make things so different that you'll be surprised at the outcome. Let me put it to you in terms of this. Many of you know me, and you know how I lead my life and the lifestyle that I have, which means I'm on the go constantly, and I see patients and I teach, and I'm on the road. I have a couple other businesses that are associated with it, and I'm consulting with other doctors, and they look at me, how do you do that? And the bottom line is that I have my health. I have my wellness. My wellness is based on my activity, structurally, chemically, emotionally. And those of you also know me know that I've sustained a couple major accidents that most people wouldn't have walked away from. Well, how did I do that? It's intention and taking control. See, I have this headspace that says that no matter what happens, the body has the capacity to turn itself around at any level whatsoever. That the body has the ability to change, to heal, to recreate itself. And that's what Ageless Health was designed to do, to give you that ability, to give you the tools every year so you can keep adding to that index. I had a life insurance physical a while back. And when you go through life insurance physicals, they ask you all kinds of questions. And one of the things they ask you, what medications are you on? Have you ever had a problem? Have you ever had a stroke? Have you ever had a heart attack? Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have high cholesterol levels? And so forth. And, when you're applying for, significant amount of insurance, the questions get more significant. And anybody that's over the age of 50, which I have to admit to being in that neighborhood, they look at you with, you're lying to me when they ask you what medications you're on, and you say none. And they look at you, what do you mean, you don't take any medications? I said, no, I don't take any medications. Well, when was the last time you were on any medication? I said, well, other than maybe an Advil that I've had maybe 5 over the last, I don't know how many years, I haven't had any medications in my body probably in 35 or 40 years. And they look at me like you're lying to me. Well, the bottom line is that can be anybody's outcome. You can change your life. You can change your health. You can get off of medications. As long as you're breathing, the body has the capacity to change anything. So what do you want to change? Let's put it together for you. I promise you, you can change your entire life. I wrote my book, Ageless Health 101. Health is a do-it-yourself program. So you could take control. It's a guide. It's a Bible of structural, chemical, emotional, and all the things that make you who you are today. Let's go to the phones. Susan, how can I help you?
Hi, I was just wondering if you could give me a generic idea. I know it is related to blood work, but how much vitamin D should I be taking every day? I'm 55 today, and it's just been a question that I've had. And I know that you probably recommend a specific one that's not just, sold by some drugstore.
There's a lot of good vitamin Ds that you can get out there. But the one that I'll tell you to go get, if you're not a patient of ours, if you're not a patient of somebody who does nutritional work, is Carlson brand, Carlson. And it's been around for years. It's a good quality company. But not knowing what your blood levels of vitamin D3 are, I will say to you, don't take any more than 2,000 units a day. You may be assimilating vitamin D very efficiently, and you may not. But 1 to 2,000, but I would encourage you to get a blood test done.
Well, the last time I had it done, which was about 8 months ago, I was really low at 19.
Oh, okay. So then if it's at that level, if I had seen your blood work then, I would tell you to take 10,000 units a day. And you would take that continually for 3 to 4 months, and then you would redo your blood test.
Okay.
The target range that you want to keep it in is going to be in the neighborhood of about 75 to 80. At that level, 75 to 80 units, you have great immunological response. Once you get up to about 50, your bones are safe. But what you want vitamin D for is not only good bone integrity, but you also want it for immune function. So about 90 days, 100 days out is usually the marker. Redo your vitamin D levels and see what they are. Anything under 50 is considered insufficient. Anything under 32 is deficient. So you were highly deficient at 19.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome. Good luck. Let me know if I can be used to you.
I certainly will.
Charlotte,
I wasn't working on next Saturday because I'd love to come to your seminar.
Oh, we'd love to have you there. Trust me, it's going to be in a day that's going to be absolutely incredible, and it's very high-toned and very powerful. So why don't you play hook and come?
Well, hopefully next year.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Charlotte, how can I help you? Charlotte? Hello? I think we lost Charlotte. Charlotte, if you're listening, call back because your name's on my board, but you're not there. So, 888-630-WMAL, 888-630-9625. You know, we're talking about deficiencies in vitamin D. There are many other deficiencies, and micronutrients are very, very important. What do I mean by micronutrients? Those are all the minerals and the vitamins and so forth, kind of in a category. And when you're not getting enough of things, if you're not getting enough vitamins, you're not getting enough minerals in your body, the aging process accelerates dramatically, and the incidence of age-related diseases increases dramatically. Most of us eat very haphazardly. You know, we catch when we can. We grab a candy bar and a cup of coffee. We go to one of the fast food places. Most of this stuff is depleted of anything that is going to make you healthy, let alone you go out and take, well, I'm taking a multivitamin, but you're taking junk. You're going to, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you all that Costco brand vitamins aren't the best. There are better brands than that. Some of the stuff that you go into your CVS stores, they're not the best. They are artificial nutrients. They don't come from organic sources. You know, here's a situation where a lot is not necessarily better. Low amounts are necessary. Most of you can't assimilate high levels of vitamins, and you don't need them because they create deficiencies in other areas as well. So we want to make sure that you're getting the right amount of nutrient bases. And the hypothesis that we want to deal with here is that frequently scarce micronutrients are short-term survival elements that we don't get. And if you get enough of them, they're going to increase your longevity. They're going to increase your health and wellness index. There's a lot of literature out there that talks about, and there's little things that you have to make sure that you get. I'm going to talk about 5 or 6 and actually 10 or more basic nutrients that your body has to have to mature itself, to maximize itself, to grow healthy, grow well over a period of time. And things like, you know, even think about selenium and iodine and vitamin E, but not lots of it. You know, many of you go out and take vitamin E in a synthetic form and you're taking 1,000 units a day. You don't need all of that. Those are pharmaceutical levels of nutrients to handle and to repair certain things. Modest amounts of these things can help dramatically, but they have to be in combination, and they have to be natural forms, and they can't be taken from areas that are polluted. To do so, you end up with a bigger problem than what you're trying to resolve. Remember that vitamins come from foods, and you want to get your vitamins and your nutrients from food sources, organic sources, whenever humanly possible, because the rest of the stuff your body's got to process. And if there's pollution and there's garbage in there, you end up stressing that system out. Let's go back to the phones. Charlotte, are you there yet?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you.
All right. I have an onset of shingles.
I'm sorry.
And it's the first time that I've had it, and I'm just wondering, what can you do to help with the burning and the feeling that you get when you're waiting for it to
heal?
Better.
Okay.
Yeah.
First thing you want to start with is vitamin B12, and if you get it on your own, you want to try to find the hydroxy form of vitamin B12. If you can't do that, you get the methyl form, and you want to take somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1,600 units of B12 4 to 5 times a day initially, and you want and you have to do a ratio here. So if you're taking 1,600 units of B12, then you want to take something in the neighborhood of about 8,000, or excuse me, not 8,000, but you want to take about 3,000 to 5,000 units of folic acid with it. And you do that combination 4 to 5 times a day. B1, thiamine. You want to take 100 milligrams of thiamine every hour for 10 hours. Get up to 1,000 milligrams. That will also decrease it. Vitamin C, ascorbic acid, works with any virus in the body, and I would take anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. L-lysine, L-Y-S-I-N-E, is very important with that type of thing, and you want to take perhaps up to 4,000 units, divided dosages over a period of the day. Just doing that, those nutrient bases, now it sounds like a lot of stuff, but you want to get it from a good source, you want to get organic substances when you can, but it will definitely decrease the inflammatory response and the pain pattern that's associated with it.
But how long does it last?
Oh, it can last a long time. I mean, we treat it in the office with acupuncture, low-energy light laser, detoxification, and try to stimulate the body's IgG system, the Ig antibody responses. And when we do that, it's much shorter-lived than otherwise. But the medical approach is to give you an antiviral and to give you steroid creams and so forth to decrease the inflammatory response. But there are other natural things that you can do, and on your own, what I just told you will be helpful. If we can be of help to you, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Or if you're outside of our area, find somebody that does the kind of work that we do, because you can shorten the span of it to a matter of a few weeks, and they can, it can be gone, depending on, how bad it is for you as well. But I've seen patients that have been left untreated that 6 months later, 7 months later, they still have the problem. And
which does it react better to, heat or cold?
I wouldn't use either necessarily, but a lot of people, cool if you're going to do anything. You want to decrease, but not cold, just cool. And if you're going to put heat on it, don't put it in the area. You want to keep the inflammation down. It can be brutal, but acupuncture works very nicely, and so does low-energy light laser, and it shortens the span.
It's B12.
B12 and folic acid together, B1, and vitamin C, and L-lysine.
All right, L-lysine, okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Charlotte, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. Daryl, how can I help you, sir?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, yes. I was just calling because my wife takes tamoxifen, and I was wondering if the doctor seems to be adamant that she needs to take it, and I was wondering if there's any kind of alternative to that.
There is, but, I'm not the guy that's going to tell you to take a medication. When you're dealing with cancers, and tamoxifen is used for estrogen receptor site types of cancers, and the problem with it is it actually increases your risk of other types of cancers, and it causes the loss of calcium from bone. So you see patients who have been on tamoxifen for a period of time, and they suddenly start losing height, and their bones become more susceptible to fracture. None of those drugs are good. There's, outside of our field, and obviously we're non-drug, we're non-surgical, I would tell you to go to George Washington University clinic. They have an alternative cancer center there, and the people that you want to talk to, the guy that's head of the program is a guy by the name of Pan, Dr. Pan. And they can tell you the medications. However, from a natural point of view, not knowing your wife's history, and obviously we don't have a lot of time to discuss that on the program, in our opinion, there's many other ways of supporting the body's systems when the patient's had or has an active cancer. There's a guy by the name of Stanislaus Brzezinski in Houston, Texas, who is a medical physician who does very different types of cancer approaches and have saved thousands and thousands of lives. Cancer Centers of America, 1-800-4HELP is another outfit that you can get medical advice relative to cancer. If you want alternative cancer approaches and people who do that type of thing, or dietary patterns, get a hold of me on my website. Go to rosellecare.com, and I'll be more than happy to give you information.
Dr. Tom Roselle Live continues now on 630 WMAL.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. You've been listening to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. We've been here at 888-630-WMAL. I'm so sorry that I've left several of you online today, but it's been one of those programs where there's so much to talk about and so little time to get it all done. But next week, Saturday the 17th, you'll have a whole day with us and the ability to ask questions to your heart's content. We will be there to service you, to help you, to lead you, to direct you, to give you information that you can't even begin to imagine how powerful, how impactful it can be to your life. Go online, rosellcare.com. Register. Don't delay. We have some seats available, and we'd love to have you there, and we'd love to be able to guide you and to help you transform your life, your health, forever. Ageless Health 2011 at the Fairview Park Marriott Hotel in Falls Church, Virginia. The venue's great. The information's outstanding. The staff is top shelf. rosellcare.com or 703-698-7117. That's how you register. That's how you get it all done. Want to remind you, Thermography Centers of Fairfax, an ongoing sponsor of Dr. Tom Roselle Live, and they will be there. You'll get a chance to meet Dareth Painter, and you'll be able to meet Tammy Liner, both very capable in thermographic imaging, and they're there to answer your questions. And for those of you, by the way, that attend, they're going to have a very special gift for you. You will be able to get a significant discount in thermographic scans. So call us. We want to also let you know that if you would like to schedule an appointment in our office for thermographic imaging, you can call Dareth Painter at 703-943-7248. That's 703-943-7248. Or go online at thermographycenters.com, and we have sites out in Maryland and in Baltimore, some new ones out there. Check it out, and they'll be more than happy to help you, and we're more than happy to do what we do every Sunday here at 12 o'clock. We're here for you. That's why we do this program, is to give you the best that we possibly can, the most cutting-edge information. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. See you next week. Health is a do-it-yourself program. That's reality and the title of my new book. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. Health is a do-it-yourself program is a most understandable introduction to natural health care. My book will take you step by step through why the body breaks down and gets sick, but also how it repairs itself. You will finally understand the often confusing world of natural care. Order it today by going to Amazon.com or from our website, rosellcare.com. That's rosellcare.com.
Did you know that routine mammograms can increase radiation exposure to breast tissue 1,000 times over a chest X-ray? Now consider a simple, non-invasive, and totally safe medical procedure approved by the FDA since 1982 that can detect breast cancer 5 to 8 years before it can be visualized on a mammogram. Infrared thermographic imaging can accurately detect the initial signs of breast cancer as increased blood supply and metabolic rate, which is recorded as heat. Why expose yourself to radiation when accurate and safe medical detection is available? Call the Thermography Center of Fairfax to schedule a breast exam today at 703-948-7248. That's 703-943-7248. For more information, visit www.thermographyscan.net. That's thermographyscan.net for the Thermography Center of Fairfax.
The Roselle Center for Healing is a proud supporter of breast cancer awareness and reminds you to conduct a monthly breast self-examination and a thermographic breast scan as part of your annual wellness checkup.